Hi, gorgeous souls. I am LSF, Lady Stars on Fire, otherwise known as Bells. This is Breaking the Cage. Now, this is Breaking the Cage for March 9th through the 18th. We're going all the way up to the full moon. And this is exactly to the video today is kind of like we're getting right into the energy finally of why I changed the name of this energy or this video from, the healing messages to breaking the cage. And I'm explaining that because this energy is kind of like, and the games begin. I've been saying, I don't want to sound like a negative Nelly because this can have a lot of very positive influences in this energy. It can be very powerful and um, can be powerful overwhelmingly, but it can also be very powerful in the form of coming into liberation, coming back to self, coming back to soul, and moving forward in new directions. And what will you do to get you there? And this is why I've been saying it this way, because I kept reminding everybody with Taurus having Uranus in it, and with the North Node coming in and the South Node coming in, oh, the games are just about to begin. We are looking at some brand new views. We are seeing things from a whole new set of eyes. And there's still major destruction that has to happen before true construction can take place of coming into a more higher level of vibration for the earth, and we're definitely starting to see this. I've been giving these warnings for a long time of coming into your power and having to come into your power, because if you're not in your power, someone or something else will be. Now, let me go back to this week directly, and as we approach this full moon, because the full moon is taking place in Virgo. However, a lot of this energy, even though it's going to feel like it's the outer world that's going on, you really need to be looking inwardly. Really need to be looking inwardly, because everything has to do with the foundation on a universal scale, but as well as for yourself on what is your fourth, your fifth, and your sixth house. Okay, your fourth house is your inner emotional security. Okay, it's your security within yourself, within your soul, within your authenticity, within knowing thyself, your roots, and who and what you are, the liberation of yourself through understanding where the insecurity has been so we can correct it. As we come into that fifth house of energy, this is about our self expression, who we are, what makes us tick, why do we enjoy being here, and what do we want to be part of, and are we capable of being part of what we want to be part of. And all of this comes as we're growing into where that new moon, that full moon is going to take place. It's going to take place in Virgo, which is universally the sixth house. The sixth house is it's your daily mundane tasks. I say this all the time, everybody. What is it that you do in your daily that you don't realize is the most powerful things? The most powerful things are often the unconscious, what you're unconscious to. What are your daily activities, your health, your diet, your care and nurturing of yourself, as well as soulfully and where you want it to go? Not just getting up, taking a shower, going to work. I say this all the time. Some people spend all of their time, their extra free time, working on their art. Maybe they're a poet, maybe they're a writer, maybe they're a musician, and others, are spend all of their extra time partying. And this has a big part to do with it, because a lot of this energy is Pisces energy right now. And Pisces energy is staring down some really discouraging, difficult energies. And Pisces is your universal 12th house, where your grief, your sorrow, your shame, your blame, your insecurities are. Is where we point the finger outwardly instead of admitting and seeing ourselves for what we are, and where health and situations within our life could be more healing and actually make the moves of changing it. Because this is not a time to be avoiding and just getting in my comfort zone, because when we come back to dealing with what we need to deal with, we're going to have so much more clutter we're going to have to clean up. Spirit tells me that this energy, definitely, you got to remember, you just had the Schumann resonance spike like nobody's business, and we're still feeling the repercussions of it. We're feeling it in the energy itself. The energy is somewhat like pressure, somewhat like a vice, or like a holding cell in some places. Um, but what spirit gives me, and this is where it starts to take the turn for, in a twisted little bit of a way, liberation versus, am I being manipulating? Am I being calculating? Am I being, uh, pushing others around? Am I not doing it in a fair and soulful way of what's best for me? But am I being, selfish in a way that's not good for me? But everybody needs to know how to be self-centered enough to love themselves right, but need to know when they stepped overboard. And the reason I say that is because there's a movie a while back that Spirit is giving me. And like I said, it's a little bit twisted, but it's the way they're giving it to me. And I'm sure some of you have heard of the movie. It was Saw. And they keep giving me the character that would go, do you want to play a game? Yeah, where I'm going with this. Do you want to play a game? The idea is, what will you do? What will you do for your survival? Where will the levels of your survival take you? And, you know, what is this going to do on the aftermath as well? Because in some cases, let's face it, there is so much going on in the world. I mean, your level of, do you want to play a game? When you're talking about, the Ukraine and Russia, the war over there, that's a whole nother spin from other areas in the world. And some of it, it's just your little world of what's going on and what you need to change in your little world versus, the big situation. So this astrology plays out in its ways for the bigger picture, but it also gives you the information you need for your small, little, tiny, important lives to you. And when we're looking at it from that 12th house, we're looking at it of grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurity. Where am I going to tap into what I'm comfortable with because I don't really, change is hard, versus where do I need to kick in the door? Remember, when I did the last video, Spirit was giving me Emancipation Highway. Now they're giving me, you want to play a game? What was Emancipation Highway? Are you going to free yourself from the slavery of what's been set in front of you that you have to abide by those rules? And how is that going to or not going to? What are the changes that you have to make? What do you have to do in order to move forward in your life? And this will take different spins as to what we're looking at, because what Spirit also gives me is in a form, it's like back when you were in elementary school and you had field days, or relay races, and you had to pass off the baton for the next version. This is this for the next person who was running, so to speak. This is passing off the baton onto a higher soaring self person within you, your higher self, passing off the baton, doing the relay race, letting go and purging all of those things we haven't been healing, getting to the nitty gritty. Like I said, with the North Node and the South Node, now in Taurus and Scorpio, we're taking things from a whole new level, and we're seeing things in a whole new level of, when I say get in your power, because if you don't, someone else will be. I mean exactly that. All right. You are especially going to start feeling a lot of this twist and turn power and energy. I see it like an explosion of energy, something that's going to be like that just hit the wall on like between the 15th, the 16th. Where would I read it? 13th, 14th, and 15th. Everything up until then is kind of building, and it'll be like bam, right around the 13th, 14th, and 15th, even though you have the full moon coming in on the 18th. So you're building to a higher climax of what's going to be taking place with this full moon. Remember, the full moon is in Virgo. So we're trying to set new groundings. You get what I'm saying? We're trying to set new groundings, new platforms that are structured and able to your Virgo is very much where dotting our I's and crossing our T's. We're making sure that the platform is going to be strong, and you better believe that that outer world is definitely checking their I's and their T's and making sure that that platform is going to fit what they want. So are you doing it for your own personal life? Is what I'm trying to get at. Your daily routines, your daily mundane tasks, whatever you are a part of, your people, places, and things. Not only do you consume it, but it consumes you. And what are you being a part of? And is it what you want to be a part of as you move forward in this life? And you set this foundation and the strength of who you are as you're coming into your authentic self. You're coming into a new time jump in vibrations. I'm trying to give you guys on a positive stir how to see this energy. Spirit also gives me, if you do not know, you may want to look it up. Hawk, the bird, hawk medicine. They keep giving me, literally, I have like a hawk right in front of my face, like, right in front of my face. And all I can see is his eyes and his beak, and he's staring me down. Okay, so this is the hawk's eye, seeing from a bigger picture, pulling yourself back and really being able to view everything for all of the truth that it is without getting yourself caught up in the comfort zone that allows you to deny it. Okay, but hawks also speak to us of opening our eyes, but opening our imagination while we're able to still be able to remain grounded while we're doing it so we can change our reality. So seeing the unseen by pulling ourselves back enough to observe, but staying in the grounded reality enough to know what needs to shift and change so that we can see the unseen while we're still moving through the actual part of the three-dimensional world that we are part of. Now, on the 9th, which is today, Mercury is entering Pisces. Pisces is still off the chain in energies, but I'm going to go through that for you in just a minute. You have the Sun and Neptune. The Sun recently passed Jupiter, which is, I'm talking about just Pisces energy at the moment. The Sun crossed over Jupiter in the past week. Now it's coming in and it's going to pass Neptune. Once the Sun passes Neptune, the illumination has been made. This is why I'm saying on the 13th, from the 13th out, it's going to be like, because you still have the opportunity for the denial, the illusion, the delusion, letting me not see the truth for what it is up until the 13th. Because once that Sun crosses Neptune, now it has more power. Even though all planets take their orders from the Sun will gain more power once it crosses Neptune, because it is in Neptune's home of Pisces right now. Neptune is grief, sorrow, not grief, sorrow, shame. Neptune is magic, illusion, delusion. It is where fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. So what you thought about, you thought could possibly happen, but you're like, it won't. No, it will. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say. It has the ability to create the best magic if you can stare it down like a hawkeye and truly be able to manipulate it in a positive way so it works for you in your life, because it is in that 12th house: grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, what we don't want to know, what we like to sweep under the rug. You got to look under the rug. Or in a guy's term, you got to look under the hood. What's going on underneath the hood? You got to understand. This is getting into your inner world, your inner underworld, and understanding who and what you are, what makes you tick, why it makes you tick. Do you want to play the game? Are you coming alive or not? What will you do to thrive? What will you do to change your life? Or will you get comfortable? Go, I have time. No, you don't. Okay. These energies are definitely showing themselves now. Venus and Mars have been like this for the last month, but they left Capricorn. Now they're in Aquarius, which is giving it a different spin. But they're still together. They're a degree apart. But Venus now is in front of Mars, so the aggression has actually slowed down some, looking at the value of it. But we're looking at it from, again, do you want to play a game point of view? It's an Aquarius energy. It is the fireworks. It is, I'll take on City Hall. You will not tell me how I have to live. And then when you're looking at it from that world, also from the Aquarius energy, you're talking about the 11th house. The 11th house is also, your groups, your memberships, and what you're a part of that is outside of you, like your job, your work friends. And the committees are the groups we keep, the memberships we are part of. And are these memberships, groups we keep, your work friends, do they support your personal growth? Or is it more like they're trying to manipulate you out of your growth and into what they want? This is just an observation for you to be looking at. You got Mars and Venus here going, where's the value system in it? And does it need to be shifted? Venus is going to move also by the time we get to this full moon. It will move 2 degrees away from Mars. So it will start actually picking up its speed, and this energy is going to start to separate. So you're truly getting some masculine and feminine, let me see the yin and yang, and is it there or is it not? And do I have the courage to come into what I need to for myself? Then you got the full moon, like I said, which is going to take place in Virgo. It's on the 18th. The apex is at 3:18 a.m. So you may be feeling the full moon energy more on the 17th, because on the 18th at like 7:30 a.m., somewhere around there, the moon actually moves into Libra. So then we're going to be wanting to look at harmony and balance within the people and the relationships that we continue to still have. And does that support us? You get where I'm going? So this energy is building up right until the 18th. And I'm saying somewhere between the 13th and the 18th is a snapping point of, oh no, I ain't taking that no more. This is going to happen right now. It's going to be, the slapped you up against the wall. And I'm sure you're going to probably see some more Schumann resonance rising again. All right. Now let me get into the other energies, because that was just the base outline. You have Venus and Mars, which are not having anything. The energies that are going on with Venus and Mars in that 11th house of Aquarius, they are absolutely having a fit. I don't want to talk to you at all. And what we're talking about is Taurus energy with Uranus. Uranus and Taurus, independence, individuality, uniqueness, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, liberation, coming into the powers of yourself. And the outer world is not having it. The outer world is going, well, you coming into power does not work for me. You get where I'm going? So this is saying, are you going to be steamrolled? Will you allow the steamrolling to take place because the outer world said so? Or will you start coming into your power and going, no, I will not be caged. Do you want to play the game? This is where we're looking at this energy. Now you have Saturn, which is also in Uranus, which is not getting along with that North Node. It's also not having it. The North Node in Taurus is everything you need to learn about creating your destiny, creating your heaven here on earth, creating the feeling of I am. I am me. I'm allowed to be me. I'm allowed to be the crazy, whatever energy that I am. And I love me for who and what I am. And I don't care if you do. It's also Taurus energy, also rules possessions. This is exactly why I was saying if you are not in your power, I'm not talking about little possession, like things you own, your crystals, your necklaces, your glasses. I'm talking about full on possession here. I'm talking about the things that you care about. This is where the manifestation takes place. And if you can be belittled enough, then you can be swayed. This is saying, are you coming into your power or will someone else be able to take it from you? And this is the North Node in Taurus saying, I'm not getting along with what that outer world from Saturn is saying. I agree with the rules, walls, and boundaries. The outer world is going to try to push different rules, walls, and boundaries on you that are not something you agree with. Will you stand for it? Or will you figure out how to work to where there's a happy balance and it is fair? You also have Saturn, which is not getting along with the South Node. The South Node is everything that you're incredibly good at, but it doesn't work for you anymore. So your levels of manipulation that you're used to being able to work with within life, death, and rebirth of the relationships that you have may not be working anymore. It's time to do something new. Pluto is in the 12th house of Capricorn, and it is absolutely loving the North Node. It's going, yes, it's time to stand in your power. How many times do I have to say that Pluto for me is, though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You cannot be separated from your soul if you know how to connect with it. That's your key. It is starting to realize all of who and what you are, accept all of who and what you are. Embrace yourself and come back into the power of your own soulfulness. But not to mention, it's also sextiling that 12th house, which is that Pisces energy. So Pluto is a part of you, the part of you that's afraid of your own soul, is saying in a sextile, it means things can happen. But it's also where we get comfortable and we're like, yeah, but I could do it later. And that's when you can't. Because it's sextiling the sun, it's sextiling Neptune, it's sextiling Jupiter. And in a form, it's even got energies going to Mercury as Mercury moves closer throughout the week. So this is saying your grief, sorrow, shame, blame, the healing that has to take place now. Get in your power. Start to figure out what it is in your own healing where you've been in your own way, where you've kept yourself from moving from one cycle to a next, the relay races, the field day that the spirit was saying that they give us. In the beginning of this video, I was saying going from Emancipation Highway into the relay race and handing off the baton to the higher you. Because Pluto is sextiling it, it makes you feel like you're comfortable enough to go, well, I'm still working on it. Yes, continue to work on it, but don't just be like, I'm working on it and I have time. No, this is do or die, bitch. This is where we're coming into these energies. This is, who's your ride or die? Your ride or die is your higher self and coming to know the healing within yourself and coming back into the liberation and the power and the possession of your own soul. And we're coming into understanding, exploring this on new levels by not allowing the outer world to take our power from us. Like I said, we're coming into and the games begin. I've been warning you guys of this for several years now. You also have Neptune and the sun. Like I said, they're coming together and the sun is going to pass it. But Neptune and the sun are very discouragingly looking at the South Node and Lilith. Lilith is in your third house of communication, Gemini. And it is also speaking to you about, well, where's your soul fire? You were put here for a reason. Are you going to connect with your soul fire? What are you going to do with it? You're just going to light it up in your room and ignore it and never do anything with it? Are you going to actually, supernova it? Are you going to actually spiritually combust? Are you going to come into your power? Because Neptune and the sun are going, yeah, I'm not going to make it easy for you. If you really want to get to you, you're going to have to get to you. And like I said, that South Node is in Scorpio, meaning, like I said, that's also the rules. It's the resources of the outer world and the rules, walls, and boundaries that either make it work for you or make it work against you. So how comfortable are you of going with the flow of what you're told versus full on that indigo spirit and kicking down the door? No. We're talking about the relay races of coming back to soul. You also have Neptune and the sun, which is sextiling that north node. Again, everything you need to learn in order to move forward, but a sextile. When you have too many sextiles, the opportunity is there, but will you miss it because you thought you could do it later when you don't have it later to do? The energy is there now. You have Jupiter, which is also sextiling the north node. Do it now. Do not wait for later. This is talking about coming into our power, coming back into our liberation, not necessarily going out and starting a war, but not allowing the war to cross my own threshold. You don't get to get inside of me. You don't get to have part of my soul. You don't get to take from me. You can play that game with everybody else, but I am in my power. This is where I'm always trying to take you guys. And I love you and I only want to see you move forward in the best way positive. So I'm trying to give you the tools you need with the energy to help understand how to steer this directly for your own life. I love you guys. Get out there and break the cage. Bye. Oh,